Alrighty guys, this recently came in the mail and this is the Tamron 17-70 f2.8 for the Fujifilm X Mount. Look at all that in its glory, y'all. Look at that sexy fella right here. I actually bought this lens because I saw how good it performed on my friend's Sony a6700 and I needed a general purpose lens for my Fujifilm kit. That was the only thing that I felt was missing in my kit. And the wife also films her content on Fujifilm cameras. And there was this instance where she needed something a little bit tighter to film on, and she was using the Viltrox 13mm f1.4 before. It was a bit wide for what she wanted in her content. I also have the XF 23mm f1.4 WRLM, but that doesn't work because of its filter thread size. She uses a teleprompter, so the filter thread size we need is 67mm or higher. Like, I just felt that if you mount too many step-up rings onto the XF 23mm f1.4 and then attaching a teleprompter on it would look a bit janky. And then I remembered that this Tamron lens right here has a 67mm filter thread, and it covers all the general purpose focal length that I would use, from 17 all the way to freaking 70mm, man. And that's a full frame equivalent of 25 to 105, which is pretty good. So I thought, you know what, this could be a good excuse to pick up this lens. And I do have a trip to Greece that I could use this lens to get some cool shots while I'm there, so why the fuck not? And here we are, man. This thing looks so freaking huge, man. Look at that. And it looks a little front heavy on my X-T5. Just give me a second. Look how big this looks on the Fujifilm X-T5. Holy crap. That looks massive, yo. That looks massive. It's a little front heavy, but I would say that it's manageable. And I'm also accustomed to Tamron's lens design. It's nothing exciting to look at, but I've used Tamron lenses in the past before, and I hear that this lens is really good because, you know, on top of the f2.8 and the many focal lengths that I got, it also has image stabilization in the lens, or which they call vibration control. What I found out about this lens is that it has the rubber gasket seal, so for that weather sealing, which is great. So if you guys want a size comparison to see what this looks like beside my XF 33mm f1.4, here it is. Look how big this lens is compared to the prime lens. Like, holy crap. This is a really thick boy for the Fujifilm X Mount, that's for sure. It's pretty huge, guys, and this is going in the opposite direction of the compact lens that Sigma brought out, which was the 18 to 50mm f2.8, which I think was a fantastic lens for travel photography, by the way. But enough talking about this lens, let's share some photos. I am loving the quality that this lens is producing. It's insanely sharp and it's very versatile. Take it from me, who's been using prime lenses for this past year, I think this was a nice change of scenery. I did use this lens for some video on my X-T5 to film some B-roll recently. And let me just say that it's really nice that it can give me a few different focal lengths so I can get a variety of shots. I like that I can go really wide and get those hand-holding shots that you've seen in my videos when I'm holding the product. And I really like that I can zoom all the way into 70 and get some detail shots, usually of the camera logo or the dials and whatnot. I filmed this at f2.8 as well, so it just opens up that light gathering capabilities for me. Now, I used to own the XF 18 to 120mm f4 power zoom lens, and I thought that lens was freaking amazing. However, it was at an f4, and when presented in low light, it did have some challenges. So again, this lens was just refreshing to use. Now, if you're interested in this lens, I'll leave the links down in the description below. And that's all I really have for now. These are my first thoughts on this lens. But what are your thoughts on this Tamron 17-70? Do you guys like this lens? Let me know in the comments below. and consider subscribing for more Fujifilm gear content like this one. And thanks so